From the NewsTalkSTL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter. On tonight's episode, joining the Convoy with Pinky the Trucker, making movies with Adam Boster, and the Right Mind studio band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now, putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Schowalter.
Pew, 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 pew.
Are we in St. Louis? Watch out for bullets?
That is it. You could tell right away, couldn't you?
Busch Stadium. There's a few bullets going by last night.
Can you believe it? I mean, now it's right outside the stadium. I mean, I'm used to, like, every night listening to the news for, like, the scoreboard recap about how many murders we've had this particular day, which is usually, more than Syria or Iraq or whatever. And then last night, though, I hear that they are right outside the stadium at Market and Broadway. I mean, that's right there. That's right there.
Must have been the Buccaneers, the Pirates as they're called. They were out and looking for booty because the Cardinals were literally playing the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's right.
Well, maybe that's why they were doing it, but I couldn't believe it. I mean, right there, and somebody got grazed. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, well, nobody's ever at the games anymore. If you go and you look around the crowd, there isn't one. There's maybe one or two people because they're lost from last year, and people are blaming it on their record, but I don't think so. I think if you go to a baseball game and, say, hey, there's a good chance I'll get shot, that's also a good reason just to stay home, don't you think?
Were you just listening to the news report, or did you actually see it?
I was listening to the news report.
Coming in from the live chopper.
Live.
We've got a car running into one of these electrical boxes, and it's just shooting off sparks. Did you see that?
I did see
the
it.
The car was plowed into an electrical stop sign box, and then the Ameren Electric was just getting shocked, and they were doing
it was
pew, zip,
pew,
zip.
pew. Boy, I'm going to do that for the rest of the show. That's the most fun I've had with my mouth all day, except for this coffee. That was quite something, all these bullets. And then overnight, then they had apparently some people were killed during the day then on Kings Highway, and then overnight you get the morning update that even more people are killed. I don't think this is good for tourism.
But the Cardinals did win 10-5. Just so everyone,
okay.
We have to put a button on the story that was a happy ending.
Okay. You know what? You know what's not happy? I got to tell you something here. Now, this is really, we have a little bit of a world crisis that I'm dealing with, my friend. I mean, normally everything is more locally oriented, the gunfire at the OK Corral known as Busch Stadium. But, this is like a world crisis. As you know, I'm working on an animation project.
It's about a cat.
It's called The Magic of Shere Khan, okay? And the author of the original stories, she's based in Germany. Her name is Evelyn, and she we have a weekly Zoom call, and she says to me, and she listens to the show religiously, by the way. I don't know if she prays while she listens, but religiously, like she listens regularly, I should say. And she says, well, I'm not going to do her accent because I wouldn't do it justice, but she basically says that I can't support Trump because what's going to happen if he's elected, he's going to end all the elections and he's going to be a dictator like that horrible H guy. What are you talking about? Hitler, that guy. And so she's basically, and so I go what? I was perplexed. I go, what do you mean he's going to get rid of all the elections? And she said, oh no, we have although in her German accent, she said, we have news clips over here showing his speech, showing his actual speech that he is going to just get rid of elections and he's going to be a dictator. And I said, send me this clip. And I think that you have that clip, don't you?
I sure do have that clip.
Okay, well, let's listen to it.
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again.
Okay, so now he is saying that in 4 years you don't have to vote again. And then this is being taken to the context that, well, he's going to end all elections, he's going to be a dictator now. But as you know, my friend, the press, the media that is so objective, they twist everything around, okay? They don't play the full version. It's kind of like that bloodbath thing. Remember he said bloodbath about the car industry, and they just construed it to be the entire everything. Everything's going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't win. So now what they once again took this quote, this little nugget, out of context, and they didn't play the full clip, which is you also have, don't you?
Well, I have Trump explaining the next day what he meant, because he was really dragged through the mud on this specific chunk that was taken out of context. I don't know if you heard. He actually said, "I'm a Christian," but he kind of got his tongue stuck. So it kind of sounded like I'm not a Christian.
Well, they're all up in arms.
People were saying that, he's not a Christian. He did say he's a Christian.
Yes,
it just got misconstrued a little bit.
Fluxed amongst it.
So the next day on Fox, they asked him about it, and he was just saying that Christians historically don't vote.
Right.
So he wants them to get out and vote. Well, listen, let's see if he can explain it better.
Okay.
Christians are not known as a big voting group. They don't vote. And I'm explaining that to them. I'm saying go out. You must vote. November 5th is going to be the most important election in the history of our country. Don't worry about the future. You have to vote on November 5th. After that, you don't have to worry about voting anymore. I don't care, because we're going to fix it. The country will be fixed, and we won't even need your vote anymore, because frankly, we will have such love. If you don't want to vote anymore, that's okay. And I think everybody understood it.
Well, obviously they didn't all understand it, because it's an international crisis. It's huge over there in Europe. My friend in Germany, she said she heard it on the BBC, which I think is like the big bullshit company. Can we say that on the air?
No, we can't.
Oh, okay. I guess
let's put a little note saying don't say that word.
I can't say that anymore. But it's like the big blank company. But yeah, this is all over the place. But now
let's try it again. I think the C, you'd have to have a C word in there.
Okay.
You used an S word. So I think it would be the big bull crap company.
The big bull crap company.
So you said the S one.
Yes.
We're going to take that one out.
We're going to take that one out. They were listening to the big bull crap company. Something like that. And now there's an international crisis that you and I, my friend, once again have solved. I mean, we've made Europe at peace. I mean, they can finally sleep at night knowing that this was all a bunch of junk that the media made up.
Be an international incident. If the kids over in, I want to say Germany, but the entire world didn't get their Shirkan because of this little tiff.
They're the one. You're not going to get your Shirkan.
Imagine all the kids that wouldn't have stuffed Shirkan dolls to go to sleep with at night.
Right, that's right.
Because this cartoon didn't come out because of a little misunderstanding.
And
sickens me.
Yeah, well, we took care of it, didn't we?
I mean,
that's a lot of merch that we'd be like out of. I mean,
cash.
Oh, cash, a lot of cash running out of the air there. Yeah, so I mean, we've solved that, and moving on to the most important thing, you were in a dogfight.
That is correct. There's actually a term called dogfight. Have you heard of this? Where they made a movie. It was with Joaquin Phoenix's little brother, River Phoenix, back in the day. Probably his older brother, actually.
Could have been.
And it was about these military guys who brought the ugliest girl to a dance.
Oh,
and then whoever brought the ugliest girl won.
Oh.
I did not have a dogfight like that. I had a literal dogfight. I'm getting paid to watch my girlfriend's aunt's dog, and we are in a very affluent neighborhood.
Oh, like
$1 million houses.
Yes.
Huge.
Okay.
And because we're good dog owners and watchers, we had our dog on a leash, walking it around late at night, looking at the full freaking moon. Have you seen it? It's like a lunar eclipse.
It's a big
beautiful.
It's that moon in the sky.
And this were-dog, this were-dog, the moon gets up in the sky, and this, I don't know, this guy who
like
was
a werewolf,
this naked guy who turned into a dog comes in and attacks us.
Get out of here!
I believe it had a German accent too. So
what did you going to bite your ankles?
I'm going to bite your little dog.
Don't do that, you girly man.
So be careful of the were-dogs and the werewolves if you're out in the full moon in the next couple nights. That's all I'm saying.
But is it only in affluent neighborhoods? Because I bet you they got a lot of cash over there. They probably want to solve that little problem. Did you knock on their door and say, we can just settle this right here, or I could take you to small claims court?
Why do homeless people live next to Busch Stadium? You could get shot. You need to go to Baldwin next to Todd and just hang out on this beautiful grass with these beautiful Trump signs for shade.
Yes.
We've been putting up Trump signs all over the country now.
Dang it, I got to tell you what. Now, first of all, last Saturday, my wife and I think she'll allow me to say her, I'm just going to mention her maybe 400 or 500 times on the show. But we went out down to Gravois Bluffs, to that place down that strip mall down by the J.C. Penney, and we got our Trump signs.
The Friar Tuck's alcoholic store, yeah. Next door. The Republican Central Committee.
That's what it is.
That Trump store.
Exactly what it is. And we got our Trump signs, and we're really, because there's been some turnover in our neighborhood, and there are a lot of really kind of dumb liberal signs. And so I figured, this will make me really popular, and it hasn't. But that's up. But you know what we did? And I think, guess what? We're having a contest. Did you know that we're having a contest?
I heard about the contest, but I think I'm ineligible, so I don't remember the fine print.
Oh, no, seriously. It's a contest, and I rigged it so you get to win, too. But we have these Freedom Trump signs, okay? And it's got the station logo on it and stuff, and Donald Trump's face on it. And what we're going to be doing is like once a week to a lucky listener, or it could just be somebody that doesn't listen, wants to enter, enters in and decides to subscribe to our podcast replays. We're going to be picking one every week, and they're going to get their very own free, what do we call it? Trump freedom sign. What do you think of that?
And it's got a beautiful cartoon that you drew yourself.
Cartoon, yeah.
So it's not just a picture of Trump, him, picking his nose or something. It's actually a beautiful picture that you drew yourself.
Yeah, I drew it with my crayons and everything. I got my colorings out, and I just did it all myself.
The liberals do confuse me because they've always got these signs in their yard that say walls. And I'm like, well, that's a yard.
Yeah.
Why are you labeling the yard as a wall?
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
It should be taped to your house or something. If you're supporting walls, I don't understand the yard signs that say walls.
It should say yard,
yeah,
or something like that. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Well, you know that Kirkwood place, they had their green tree festival or something. Apparently, they were just passing out Kamala signs right and left. I still think our Republican buddies got to get it together and start passing these things out, because all over my neighborhood, we've got one guy up the street. I swear, it's like he has a sign, a manufacturer. I mean, you cannot even. It's like Branson. I mean, he has sign on top of sign just of all these liberal characters. I think it goes back to Lyndon Johnson. I think he's been saving them forever, and they're all over his yard. and then there's my little Trump sign next to my vote Todd. Because I have votetodd.org that we killed last week. But that's pretty much it. And I think we got to go out and do our due diligence. Do you like caramel apples?
I do love caramel apples, and it's that time of the season where Halloween is coming up. Caramel apples are coming up, and people are putting up hay bales in random places. People who normally never farm are just buying hay bales and putting them in their yard.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful time of the year.
It really is. And it's got that cool, brisk feel. Like right now it's like 92 degrees out on a Thursday. But, I just like to think it's cool and brisk. And it reminds me of a story that we were bringing up. You and I were talking not too long ago. There's a place like not far from here where you can go and like pick your own fruit, okay? In this case, like apples.
Must be a great deal since you're doing all the labor.
That is what I was thinking, okay? Because they have a big fall type of deal with pumpkins and stuff like that. And this is a great scam. I mean, this is like the Tom Sawyer thing, where you can pay somebody to paint their fence. Now, you pay these people. First of all, you got to drive way out to like, 1 billion miles away. And then you go out to their farm, okay? You pick all their crops, all right? And then they charge you twice as much to do their work. Now, who came up with this?
I don't know. It's that's migrant labor is what it sounds like.
Migrant labor, yes. And I don't think that's a good point. I wonder if we could go out to this particular establishment and pick their crops, if we could kind of identify as illegal aliens and maybe go get a bunch of free stuff like they're all getting. Put us up in a hotel. Get us a debit card, gosh darn it. I mean, maybe we can get a lot of good stuff for doing their work. Can you imagine any other job? Like say you've got somebody walking down the street, Joey. Just pretend they're walking down the street.
I can picture it now.
Okay, and you say, hey, look, I want you to pay me $20 to do my work today. Do you think they would do it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they would, but they would if you wanted to go pick these crops at this particular place.
They call that the gringo tax.
Gringo tax? What's that supposed to mean? I don't think you can say that on the radio.
Well, if you had shown up and you looked more migrant-y, they'd have given you a paycheck, but because you're a silly gringo, you got to pay them double.
Yeah, well, it does make
that happens
sense.
When I go on vacation on these cruise ships. You get off and you're in the middle of nowhere, Barbados, and everything is more expensive just because of the complexion of my skin.
You get off on cruise ships?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, I bet that's a lot of fun.
That's why there's the pineapple on the door.
Oh, that's right.
Because I picked it myself.
Now, does your lovely girl know that whole story? You didn't tell her that's why you had the pineapple on the door, did you?
Yeah, it was a surprise, but we have fun.
Well, we got a weird show coming on. Weird. We have an exciting show coming up. We've got, get this, Pinky the Trucker. Now, I want to kind of preface this story. Okay, we got Trucker Mike. He has not been on the show for a while, and Trucker Mike is our correspondent from America's highways, and so he reports on what's all going down in real America that the corrupt media doesn't really tell us about. So I get a hold of Trucker Mike because I wanted to see what was actually happening in America. He sees it, and he says, nope. I don't want you to talk to me today. You got to talk to Pinky the Trucker. I go, Pinky the Trucker? Yep, this guy, he's all pink. He has pink hair. His favorite color is pink. The inside of his truck is pink. His steering wheel's pink. Everything is pink. And he is really funny, and he drops the F-bomb all the time. I go, I don't know if that's good for radio, but maybe if he leaves that part out, he'll be exciting to talk about. So he, twisted my arm to get old Pinky on the show today. So he's coming on. And then we got Adam Boster coming on because he's convinced that his new movie, Spanks, is going to be the next Napoleon Dynamite. He's going to tell us about it, which was a quite popular film back in the day.
Does he know how funny we are? Because if I haven't been consulted about the script, I'm pretty sure there's a few jokes that could be added.
I'm so glad you brought that up. The
Punch-up, they call that.
The only reason I ever get a hold of Adam, I mean, and he's always very excited. Oh, thank you very much for having me on the show. This is very kind of you. Okay, it's really kind of like a backhanded thing because I really want him to cast you and I in our own film, like in a buddy film. Kind of like, not a rom-com. That would be, we're conservative.
I don't have much time. Can we do not 48 hours, but like 12 hours?
48 minutes, 48 seconds.
48 seconds. I'll be Eddie Murphy if that's allowed, and then you'll be Nick Nolte.
Do this.
Pew, pew. I ate your ice cream. I ate your ice cream. All right, go on.
That's what I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him why he hasn't cast us in our very own 48-second. That doesn't sound right. 48. That reminds me of a joke. His husband and wife are. No, I'm not going to go. I can't do that one because I already ruined the BS thing that I wasn't supposed to say. We'll tell it later on in the episode. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great. But it is going to be a great show. Mitch is back in full form today because he was punished while we were away because the little attitude he had for being a socialist, that didn't go over too well with HR. So he's got a special number that he's made up for us or he stole. So I'm looking forward to that. Admiral Andy will again not be with us, but we will have our regular guests when we come back. And in the meantime, when we do come back, I'm Todd Schowalter along with my good buddy Joey B. You're listening to The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter, Pinky the truck driver tells us what it's like out there on the open road. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter on NewsTalkSTL. And now a man who respects birds so much that he always gets consent before looking at blue-footed boobies, Todd Schowalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Schowalter, along with my buddy Joey B. And now we're going to get right to the chase. Your name is Pinky the Trucker. And before I get into it too much, your buddy Mike, Trucker Mike, said, I don't want to talk to you guys. I want you to talk to the best, who is Pinky the Trucker. Now, Pinky, tell us, first of all, why are you called Pinky, and what makes you the best out there on the road?
Well, Mike tends to embellish a little bit, but pink's my favorite color. I've got a pink CB, pink steering wheel cover,
Right.
Wear a pink shirt every day. It's just a thing. Everything's pink.
Everything's just for the heck of it. I mean, it's just something you were at a Wally's or something and said, I think I'll be pink today. I mean, how did this all happen?
Been going on for years. My mom said it used to be my favorite color as a kid, so there you go.
Okay, but my good buddy Joey, who is sitting here with me, he says he said that now is Pinky like transitioning, and I go, no, he's not transitioning. He's a hetero male guy, and he's got a wife and everything. He's out there on America's roads. You just like the color pink, and there's nothing wrong with this. That is there?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so either, because otherwise we'd be shaming Pink, and we're not going to do that. Do you like Pink like the singer?
A handful of them, I guess. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay, but so you like Pink, but you don't like Pink the singer. That's the only. I want to make sure that we get that clear.
That's right. It's got to be the right color pink.
Got to be right.
Don't
color.
do pastels. It's got to be hot pink. The hotter, the better.
Oh, that is hot. Okay, now tell us, Pinky. You're out there on the road, and I'm always fascinated by the life of a trucker. Because you're seeing everything firsthand. I mean, we get all this junk that we get from the media that's all made up and construed, and we don't know if it's true or not. But you, my friend, are out there, and you're Pink out there on the road, by the way, and you are getting firsthand what America is seeing and thinking. What is actually going on out in America, that you've seen that we're not getting the full poop on?
Well, you see all kinds of things on the road. I can't even begin to tell you how many different stories from crazy stuff you see.
Well, tell
pulling
one.
in and parking. You see guys wearing dresses trying to get fuel. Had a guy in California send me a picture last night. Of a guy at the truck stop wearing a dress walking across the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. And the country is pretty divided. You see quite a few Trump flags flying, and then you get a handful of Harrison banners here and there. So it just depends on the neck of the woods.
So would you say, though, like the majority of truckers, where would they be more conservative or liberal?
I would say they'd lean more toward the conservative side.
Yeah. Well,
we've talked about those polls they do, and I think they'd be better off to go get off of a university or out of town a little bit and go do a poll at a truck stop.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of good sense. Now, when you're out there on the road, I mean, you've seen a lot of different areas. Are there certain areas that are more conservative than others? Like, say if I was going to take the fam somewhere and I didn't want to be in liberal town, where would be the best place for me to visit?
Rural America.
Rural America. What would that be?
Well, I live on the west side of Kansas, and
okay,
we're 35 miles from a Walmart. That's about as rural as you're going to get.
Okay. Now, when you're actually out there on the road, I mean, what's your typical day like? I mean, do you drive like for 8 hours and then sleep? How's that go? Because to me, I got to tell you, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I am not a very good driver. I mean, I'll go somewhere. I'll go to the grocery store, but I got to spend the night on my way there just because I can't drive that far. What is your typical day driving? How many hours do you drive?
Usually I try to keep it between 8 and 11. It kind of depends on the delivery and what's going on and what part of the country you're going through, as far as, get up early and try to get through Dallas traffic, before the rush hour in the morning and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So typically I start about, between 4 and 5 in the morning, and I'll run in at least 8 hours a day, maybe a little longer, depending on what the situation is.
Now, do you drive by yourself, or does your wife go with you? Or, I mean, it sounds kind of lonely.
Yeah, it can be. I've got my faithful little furry friend here.
Who's
Vern,
your furry friend?
He rides with me.
Who's
Vern? He's a 5-pound Maltese.
Is he pink? Is he also pink?
No, I haven't gone that far yet. Everybody keeps telling me they're surprised when I throw him out of the truck that he's not pink.
Wait! You throw Vern out of the truck? Now, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, grab him right by the scruff of his neck and pick him up, put him in and out of the truck, and he's been with me for a little over a year.
Are you driving right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now this is what Mike liked. When Trucker Mike, he was a big fan of this, and so we asked him not to do it too many times, but he wouldn't stop. Would you honk your horn a few times?
Sure.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it. Can you do it again? Oh, that was a faint hit. Okay,
I love it.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. Can you give me one of the top 3 of the craziest stories that you've ever had on the road? I want you to have them spit their peas out when they hear this.
Probably the most memorable one is when I first started out here with Mike and with this company. There, for the first 6 weeks, it was every day I was seeing a wreck out here. Really made me contemplate my life choices. Yeah, it was a daily occurrence, and the craziest one was I was being passed by a guy, and he no more than got by me with another big truck, and he pulled over in front of me and started hitting the brakes, and I grabbed the brakes and looked to kind of go around him, and got to see a tanker truck lay himself over in the median, and he was in the process. I mean, just a half a second in front of me. I don't know how he did it, but ended up laying in the median, and the wheels were still turning when we got to go by him. It was pretty wild.
Wow. Did you cause this? I mean, was it your fault?
No, not at all.
Is it true what they say about these truck stops that you have certain women trying to make a buck?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had a buddy the other night that stopped at a truck stop. I believe it was Springfield, Missouri.
I knew it. That place is crazy.
Yeah. He had a gal that walked in, and he kind of said hello as he walked by her, and she followed him right out of the truck stop, and propositioned him right there. So
wow,
it does happen, and I've heard several areas. I think it's Indianapolis, on the south side of Indianapolis. They've got all kinds of construction down there, and I've heard that place is getting pretty bad as far as the lot lizards, I guess you call them.
They're called lot lizards? I like that. Okay, lot lizards. I mean, that's something, that's kind of like a branding type of thing. So that's what is that what they refer to themselves as?
I don't know. Never been around one myself, so I can't tell you that. I try to try to stay to myself and keep out of trouble out here.
Well, you have to because you're married, right? Now, your wife, tell us, what's your family like? Do you have a family back at home? I mean, again, it's got to be kind of lonely for them, too. I mean, how long are you away when you're actually traveling?
It depends. Sometimes I'm out a month and then I'm home, and then other times I'll be out 2 or 3 months and then I'll go home.
Okay.
So she's back at home. We've got a 3-year-old son that stays at home with her, and she's a stay-at-home mom and live on a little farm, and she's got a handful of critters,
Sure.
horse and some goats and
Sure.
a garden, and she does all the canning and butchers chickens and just kind of does the homestead kind of thing.
Okay. So, I mean, is there anything out there from the roads of America, from America's highways, that we should feel good about, that the press is out, the media is actually lying to us about, that we don't have to lose sleep over? I mean, is America in better shape than we think it is?
Again, it probably depends on the area. For the most part, yeah, I think we're in better shape than they try to tell us we're in.
Okay.
Maybe not as far as the economy, but out here it seems to be, everyday life and keep trucking, keep moving type deal.
Keep trucking and keep moving. That's right. Now, okay. Well, when you're going by somebody and you look out your window and you look down at them, do you ever stare down at that person, and have you ever seen anything that maybe you were surprised to see?
Oh yeah. Like I said, you see it all. I've seen guys,
What?
basically playing with themselves, watching porn going down the road. It's
so
crazy.
You've actually been in your truck, okay, and you've looked down. You weren't looking at the road, obviously. This would have distracted me. And somebody was playing with themselves, watching porn while they were driving?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What state was this in? Was this Indiana?
That was in Missouri, too.
I knew it. Was it in Springfield? I bet it was in Springfield, because that place is just, my sister lives down there, and I think she's the only sane one. At least I think she's sane. But that is like a Missouri thing, because people say, I don't know if you knew this, our governor, Mike Parsons, there's a big thing about don't text and drive. They're pushing this whole petition to not play with yourself and watch porn and drive, because I think it's really caused a lot of accidents here in Missouri.
Right, yeah. And you see a lot of, not necessarily porn, but they're watching something on the dash. Get a lot of these foreign drivers that apparently they think the truck's going to drive themselves, so they've got their left foot up on the dash and, the iPad over on the right side, and they're watching TV trucking down the road. So
wow, okay.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I tell you what. Will you do us a favor? Can you, now, if you're like one of our correspondents from the road, you've got my cell number, obviously, and you're able to text me. Can you just give me an update the next time you're in Missouri and you notice somebody driving while watching porn?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I'd really appreciate it, because I'm just going to keep track of these, and each show I'm going to give Joey an update of how many porn watchers we've actually had while driving, because this is really a crisis here in Missouri. It's really becoming bad. I mean, we've got the meth problem, we have the bullets here in St. Louis, but I think the whole watching porn while driving, I think that's really been overlooked.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Well, you're going to be our top correspondent for that, if you don't mind, Pinky the Trucker. And I just want to thank you for being on the show, okay?
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and good luck with your podcast, and we'll stay in touch and get some updates, all right?
I'll try.
All right, buddy. All right. Well, that's Pinky the Trucker there. Joey, what'd you think of that?
Oh, my goodness. He's incredible. What a funny guy. Great sound quality, too. It seemed like he had noise-canceling microphone or something, whatever he was wearing.
I didn't even hear the toot of the horn.
I'll have to crank that up in post.
Wow. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we were trying to get his Batman origin story, like, how did you get the nickname Pinky? And he said, it's just my favorite color. But no, I imagine that when he was born, he looked like one of those baby dead mice that you feed a snake. Those are called pinkies.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yeah.
Is that what you call them?
Little baby dead mice that you feed a snake.
Have you ever seen a snake eat a mouse? I mean, it's really...
Yeah, of course.
Like in those little terrariums, as they call them, and we got the little mouse, and he's kind of scared and terrified, and it knows it's going to get eaten. I mean, and we used to see this in science class, and then we just watched the snake go and eat it, and it was really quite traumatizing. Oh, we're getting an update from him, by the way. Apparently, there's somebody on Kings Highway with bullets that's also driving a getaway car
while watching porn, and their feet up on the steering wheel.
And playing with themselves. No one. Wow. Thank you, buddy, for getting that to me. Wow.
All the Springfields have just gone to poop. There's the one in Ohio. They got the one in Missouri where all the people are getting, I guess, boing, Springfield sprung and watching these dirty movies while they drive. Get it together.
I think, but isn't that also where is that where the Simpsons are from, Springfield?
That is where they're from, yes.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think that we just want to stay the hell away from Springfield. It sounds like they're eating dogs and cats. They're playing with themselves while watching porn and driving, and they're also in cartoon shows.
I'll have none of that.
Not me. When we come back, we're going to find out about how our buddy Adam Boster, filmmaker extraordinaire and martial arts expert, by the way. You don't want to make this guy mad because he'll really kick your butt, I tell you. But he's got a film coming out. He was actually talking about making it the last time he was on. It's called Spanks, but he's going to turn this thing into the next Napoleon Dynamite, and he's going to ask our listeners to kind of, fork over some cash to make that happen.
Mitch Murphy's over there pulling down his pants and just slapping his cheeks. No, it's not S-P-A-N-K-S.
No.
It's S-P-A-N-X, like the pants that ladies wear for shape-shifting.
I'm walking over there right now.
Slapping
put
cheek.
that away. This is terrible. This visual is call HR. What do you call HR? This is dead.
I actually don't know the plot of Spanks, so maybe it is.
Well,
about
I have no
skin.
idea, but this is just disturbing. This whole show has really gone downhill here. I don't know what's happening. Well, when we come back, we'll find out if it gets any better, Mitch. In the meantime, I'm Todd Schowalter. He's smacking that thing away. Stop it. Along with my good buddy Joe A.V. You're listening to The Right Mind Show. We'll be back, hopefully, in just a bit.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter, filmmaker Adam Boster asks us to be in his next movie. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter on NewsTalkSTL. And now a man who deserves to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame for being the first man ever to slide into first and feel something burst diarrhea, Todd Schowalter.
On the line now, we've got Adam Boster, filmmaker extraordinaire. He's been walking to his car. He got into the car. We had the sound to go along with it. And he's going to explain to us about, the last time he was on, he was making Spanks, the film, and now it's out, and it's going to be the next dang Napoleon Dynamite, isn't it? Isn't it, my friend?
Amen.
Adam, yeah, tell us about it. What's going on?
Man, Spanks has really blown my mind. It's a coming of age high school comedy that really just has taken the audiences that have watched it by storm. The reviews are great so far. It's all private screenings because technically, when you're finishing a movie, sometimes it takes a little while to do that, and you want to make sure it's done right. So we've been testing it with audiences, man, and they have been laughing and really enjoying it, Todd.
Well, that's fantastic. Tell us what's the overall plot.
Yeah. So, this young kid. When I was in school, this kid challenged me to a fight one day, and he's like, "Let's go now." And I'm like, "No, let's go like in a few days at the roller rink." And I pushed it off, right? And I didn't know what I was doing, but I wasn't gonna, fight right there. And that's pretty much what this kid does in the story. And the crazy thing is, he's never fought before, so he's like, "What the hell do I do?" to his best friend, and his best friend's like, "I don't know. You gotta learn how to fight." So it's like a 3-day adventure to go find somebody to teach him how to fight. And in the meanwhile, the reason he gets in this fight is he falls for this new girl that shows up at school and that, of course, gets him in trouble. So it's a neat little adolescent comedy, about coming of age, right?
Gotcha. Now, you did mention when we spoke, and we were talking about it, kind of in jest, but I think it's rather serious, is that you said you're hoping this turns into the next Napoleon Dynamite. Now, for people that don't know of Napoleon Dynamite, I don't know how you wouldn't. I mean, that was a smaller independent film. It wasn't a big budget film, but it just exploded and did huge at the box office. And that's what you're hoping for this. I guess any filmmaker would. But what do you think this is about Spanks that puts it in that arena that it has that possibility?
Well, that's a fabulous question. And I'm going to go back a little bit because I started, I've danced on music video floors with Madonna and hung out with Matt McConaughey and Ben Affleck on Dazed and Confused before those, movies ever came out. I was working on that kind of stuff. And so I saw a lot of projects that really had wings and went to market and made a lot of money. And of course, that's every filmmaker's, real desire, not every, but, to succeed in the art that you're creating, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And to be able to have a story that has impact really reaches people. And so what we did was we looked at Napoleon Dynamite, and for most of the audience doesn't know, like it was made on like you said, a very modest budget, basically about what we put into ours. Okay. And it had, nobody knew any of these characters. John Heater, nobody knew him. Nobody knew any of those guys. Right. So it's an unknown cast. And Todd, they bought some cool 80s tracks that we recognize. When we hear it, we go, dang, that's cool. And then they did this thing with a certain distribution company that was used to doing these off-brand distribution, and a lot of the big label distributions, big studio distribution projects for film. And they hired him and gave him just the right amount of money, a few $1 million, and said, hey, take this and do your magic thing. And they did. And because of the approach, in marketing that they took, they came back with $43 million, I think, at the box office. And after the popcorn makers get half of that and the investor gets paid back, they put in their pocket somewhere between $10 and $20 million, taking that out the theater.
Oh, sure.
And that's really that we've wanted to, man. And it's totally doable. And when you see the reviews on the film, get to see the film, sometimes you're going to have to come out and see the film.
Oh, I know. In fact, you had the screening in Columbia. I was actually, I don't know if you've heard earlier shows over the past summer, but I've been at every wedding. Anybody that's gotten married in this past year, I've been at their wedding. And so we were actually at a wedding during that weekend also. But I definitely want to see it. We'll be out for the next one. So you say you've got this. Are you actually approaching the same marketing company that you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. It's the exact same company that brought Napoleon Dynamite to market, and the same company that releases a lot of big name films that people are familiar with. So, it's not a question of, how to approach it. It's just, hey, they say you need this much money for this theater, and this is what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, that was going to be my next question. So you're looking primarily theatrical, which Napoleon Dynamite was obviously at the time. Now you have all these streaming outlets, and you've got Netflix and things like that. Why is it, what's your plan, and what would you rather do? Is it more advantageous to keep it in the theaters and then go streaming? Or if you were approached by one of the, like, say, Amazon or Netflix and just wanted to buy it out, would that be on the table too?
Sure. This is a question I get from a lot of filmmakers and a lot of people that want to get in the industry, and it's a very common question. And the industry has definitely changed a lot in the past handful of years. But I'll say this, that I've got a film called Lost Treasure of Jesse James, and you can go watch it on your smart TV, and it's available on all streaming sites. And, it brings in some revenue, and we sold it for just a little more than we made it for. So that was a success on our path of getting up to Spanks. But man, Todd, if we would have had the money to bring the right film like that to market, and had a theatrical release, all of a sudden the value to the international buyers and the Netflixes and the streamers is way bigger because you had this huge national ad campaign.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, and the other thing that's changed over time, they used to call it like P&A, like prints and advertising. Now, obviously with films now, you don't have the giant reels and all that, the prints and everything. Everything's pretty much digital. Yeah. Does that make things more, I assume it does. It makes things more economical rather. But does that mean you can put that same money then into the advertising and marketing?
Man, you nailed it. If you don't have to buy a bunch of big reels of film, then you put it into your Facebook ads and your digital ads. Absolutely, man. And but again, I don't know that magic equation, though, that knowledge. That's where we hire the professionals to do that part of the job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so what you're doing right now, you've got the product, you want to get it out to market. So you're trying to raise the additional marketing funds then to get this company on board, to get it out there and, really make a good return for you. So are you approaching investors that want to get involved on the marketing side of things where they could invest in this and then possibly get a return in the end?
Yeah, that's exactly where we are. Literally at the stage where we've just literally this month gotten the film to a place where we're ready to sit down with people who can see that vision and would get excited, about having their name attached to a film that became a household name, like Napoleon Dynamite.
Right.
You can't say that name to anybody, without somebody knowing what it is. And personally, I think Spanks is a much better marketable name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Spanks, that just, everybody we say that to, you watch their face and they go, what's that about?
No, I know. It's a great name. Yeah.
That's the trick right there, man.
Yeah, and it's
So,
great.
yes.
Well, and I would think too. I mean, a lot of times, I mean, people don't understand that aren't in the film business that when you're investing in a film, I mean, it's a very iffy situation to invest in film. But I mean, and so the return on it is not always too high, and you've got to be able to, you got to be a bit of a gambler, which is good. But I think what you have now, I mean, you have the finished product, so it's not like you're actually you're not investing in something that's speculative and you don't know how it's going to turn out. So you're
exactly.
So you're basically looking for people to get on board at this stage, which seems a lot safer, knowing what the product is, to get it out there and for the marketing dollars, to get it out into to a bigger market, and then hopefully get a bigger return. So I assume that's what you're doing as far as your pitches to outside investors, correct?
Well, John, I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to put that in my pitch to my investor. But
sure.
Yes,
Well, Joe,
you're right on track, man. Because literally, over all my years, I have seen that at least, and been told many times, and I've gone to the American film market, which is like the biggest international film market here in the U.S. that they have every year. I've gone for a number of years and actually opened up a distribution company back in 2009 with some friends, and so we've had our nose to this grindstone for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so you're exactly on point, and that is that the big risk, we eliminated the 90% of the biggest risks, and now it's just a matter of going, okay, here, look at this product. Mm-hmm. And then you respond to it and compare it to Napoleon Dynamite and make a decision. Hey, is this something that you want to get behind? And like you said, the risk has been mitigated big time. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's a great approach, a great way of going about doing things. So if somebody did want to get involved, would they get in contact with you, obviously? But what's the best way to do that? And then what would you do? Like have private screenings, and they just say this is the close. Now, if you like the movie, this is how you get more involved on the marketing side. How would somebody go about doing that?
Well, reaching me is a great thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to put my phone number out here on the.
You can do anything you want. You can do that. You can give your address, social security number, banking numbers, anything you want.
Let me get my credit card. Hold on a minute.
Make sure you have that three number code though. People always forget.
Yeah.
The security.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Well, if they look up, if they're at all a Facebook person, which my generation is, I'm Adam Boster, mm-hmm. and it's like the first name in the book, and it's Boster, like Foster with a B, mm-hmm. Or Boston with an ER. And they can look me up on Facebook, DM me there, or they can send an email to Adam at BosterCastle.com, Adam at BosterCastle.com. Or if they even can't remember Boster Castle, they can send it to AdamBoster@gmail.com, and all those work, man. Or they can reach out to you and reach out on your Facebook page and comment and tell you, and then you can hit me directly too, or whatever, man. I don't want to put you to work as a part-time sales guy.
Oh no, that's why everybody else does, and so I mean that's okay. And plus, this is an exciting project. Well, as exciting as this all is, and it really is, I'm going to get kind of to like the heart of things here, because Joey keeps giving me the stink eye. One of the reasons that we also like getting in touch with you is because we don't know why you keep overlooking it, but we know that you've really been thinking about having Joey and I in a buddy movie, and and so we say we don't have agents. We just deal straight. We go straight. Joey, don't we? We go straight to the filmmakers, don't we? So we are available now. Are we available now? We're not doing anything later this afternoon, are we?
Yeah, movies don't take that long to make.
No,
so
not ours.
We can do a feature this afternoon.
I think so too. So I mean, whenever you want to do our buddy movie, okay, we are available. Whether it be this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning, if you like. I mean, but I just want you to know we are available.
And I appreciate that more than you can imagine.
Okay.
And Joey, you are right on track. It's so funny because I have so many people that say, how long did it take you to make that movie? And they think, literally, there are people that believe that you grab a camera and you follow someone around for an hour and a half and you got a movie. That's literally how they think.
You just gave the plot away to our movie here. You weren't supposed to tell that part. You were supposed that's basically our whole story there. Okay. Well, we'll just we may change it. Oh, okay.
This could work. There's some, dude, where's my car is pretty close to that idea.
And if anybody does want to get in on board, see, I'm all flummoxed and just Adam at bostercastle.com, and they can get in the film business and we can make this happen. And then Joey and I can go work on our lines that we don't have because it's all improv because we're like thespians. And if you just want to shoot this thing our film like on an iPhone or something, that's fine too because we're not picky. Okay.
Well, on that, man, in the past 2 years, it's been crazy. We literally have worked on 10 feature films and a bunch of music videos and shorts.
I know.
In just 2 years. So we need to make a movie about you and Joey. We got to do this, man.
It's what we've been talking about, and that's why we pretty much cleared our afternoon. I mean, do you have anything going, Joe? You just said you don't.
Well, we did that movie earlier. I think it was actually a Facebook Live. So, IMDb is stacked right now.
Oh, IMDb. I think, my IMDb number, I'm up to like 42,300,064. So, I mean, I am climbing. I mean, if the object is to get a big number, I am a star, buddy.
Yeah, Todd, I hate to break it to you, Todd, but the goal is to get closer to 1.
Wow, this has really been a buzzkill. That's
whole the loneliest
dang
number.
This whole show. Wow. So we're not going to shoot our movie this afternoon. I have a horrible IMDb number.
But let's do it. No, man. Let's get together and let's come up with some great stuff and build a crazy buddy movie because the world needs more of those good Bill and Ted films, brother.
Well, thank you, my friend. Thanks. And we'll look forward to the next time, okay?
Let's do it. I just got off the phone with Scott Innes, who's the voice of Scooby-Doo, and he's talking about a movie that you two could possibly fit in as well. So we're going to have to, I'll have my people call your people and we'll do lunch.
Okay. That sounds awesome. The afternoon is free. Thanks, buddy. All right.
All right. God bless, man. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow, Joey, we're going to be film stars. I mean, can you imagine? You are right. You are right. That is why he really wanted to be on the show. He had this all planned. He didn't have to go through the whole thing about Spanks and everything else, getting this marketing company, because all he wanted to talk about, I knew, I can sense these things. Could you sense it? I think deep down, he's just excited about our dang buddy movie.
He was bragging that he's got someone who can do the voice of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
You do that.
You know what? He's got 10 times more voices here. Have you heard of Sean Connery? Have you heard of Sylvester Stallone?
We've got them all.
We've got all those guys ready to go.
A soccer player, Mr. Williams. Have you had a good time today?
I had a great time. I look forward to going to the big Cardinals game this Sunday. It's the final one of the season. I'm going to get to go Christmas shopping at.
Don't get shot.
They're giving away Christmas hats. Yeah. So I'm going to pick up 4 of those and give them away at Christmas time. So thank you, Big Boss Joe, for giving me all the Christmas presents for my family this year. Hold the phone. And exactly, I'll take home some bullet casings too.
I was going to say, why don't they do that? That's what they should do at the Cardinal games.
Put it on a necklace for you?
Well, no, they could have like Cardinal bulletproof vest night, and so you could just have a bulletproof vest, and that way you'd feel safe when you left the Cardinal game. That's a brilliant idea.
They give it to you on the way out? That makes sense.
Yeah, do it that way.
You may get too sweaty on the way in.
Well, no, you're the only one at the stadium. So, I mean, you have a lot of fresh air and you can just spread out. And I think at this point they did let you sit in center field. I think it doesn't matter. It's just you just show up.
You catch a ball, you get a $1 million or something. You're on the team. You get a contract.
I think they let you play. Yeah, I don't know.
They're actually playing the Cleveland Guardians, so it'll be a very woke game.
I'm sorry.
No one will be offended at all because
the Guardians.
The Indians have been taken out of rotation.
Can you believe that? I told you my old school that now Blake is at, Southeast Missouri. I mean, we were the Southeast Indians, okay? I mean, and before I was there, I did some time at Mizzou, which is the Tigers. Now, nobody has a hard time with Tigers, but they have a hard time with Indians. So now the Indians are now the Red Hawks. So what's going to happen when the Red Hawks become offensive? I mean, what are they going to do then? Go back to the Indians?
Every few seasons or so, they switch things up and have these City Connect games where they change the name of the team. It's not like the Cardinals, they're the I don't know, the St. Louis whatever, Nellies or something like that.
Nellies.
Yeah, like for example, the Milwaukee Brewers, on their jerseys it said Brew City.
Oh.
And so for this upcoming game that I'm going to, I think it should be the the Guardians change their name to the Gordians because it's almost pumpkin time.
Gordians.
I would love that. Everyone has to come out in a big jack-o'-lantern costume, and they roll him to first base, and they roll him to second base.
Well, you'd be the only one because you're the only one there, but that would be fun for you to be like a jack-o'-lantern or a Gordian.
You got to keep a candle lit in your mouth while you run the bases.
How
if
fun
it goes
would that
out,
be?
automatic out.
Oh, boy.
This is like Savannah Bananas type rules. I like it.
I'm getting giddy thinking about it. Wow. Geez, well, maybe I'll go with you. Yeah, I really can't. I think I have another wedding I have to go to.
I only have 4 tickets, and no one wants to go with me. So there
you
is
don't
a
need
seat.
a ticket. You really don't need a ticket. Seriously, they're not even charging admission. I'm going to sign off because I'm getting really excited to get in my car, watch some porn, and
put my feet up on the dash.
on the dashboard.
Got my toes at 10 and 2s.
Yeah, I tell
This
you,
little piggy went scream.
Yeah. Pew, pew. Wow. Well, I've had a good time. You've had a good time. I can't wait for Mitch's big number that he's had 3 weeks to put together.
He said he wants to do the score for Spanks.
Oh, that would be good.
How many instruments does he play? I know he's got
He's spanking something back there. That's
my
not an
goodness.
instrument. Put that away.
He's playing his organ for sure.
Oh, we're getting pulled off the air here. Okay. Well, in the meantime, like I always say, remember, if you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. This is Todd Schowalter along with my good buddy Joey V. You've been listening to The Right Mind Show. God willing, we'll be back next week. Until then, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Schowalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to StudioTodd.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at NewsTalkSTL.com.